everyone, I am Macon, and for today's video, I'll be sharing you some events happened and the literary forms introduced before the emergence of Philippine literature in English. So straight away, let's get connected to the video. Even before the Spaniards and other foreigners set foot in our country, our forefathers already had their own literature marked in the history of our race. This means that people from other countries are not the ones who started literature in our place because we have already ours before they have landed here. But the thing is, most of the literary pieces were only shared orally or generated through the words of mouth, though some were written and preserved but into materials that easily perish. Examples are barks of trees, dried leaves, and bamboo cylinders. Going back, people of our island during this period showcased their rich past through folk speeches, folk songs, folk narratives, and indigenous rituals. Okay, folk speeches. The most influential under this is the riddle or bugtong in Filipino. It is a mystifying or puzzling question posed as a problem to be solved or guessed. Example of this is, malambot na parang ulap kasama ko sa pangarap. What? The answer is unan. Another one is proverbs. These are expressions of norms, community beliefs, or values. These are nuggets of wisdoms in a short rhyming verse. Example is, lahat ng gubat ay may ahas. Yeah. Next, folk songs. These are forms of folk lyric that express hope and love, aspirations, and lifestyles. These are often repetitive and deep, moralistic, and simple as in the children's song. These can be lullabies or kundiman. Example of this is, Paro-parong bukid,
nalilipat-lipat sa gitna ng daan, papaga-pagaspas, sambara ang tapis, sandangkal ang manggas, ang sayang dekodas, ang piyesa ang sayan.
Another one, folk narratives. These are exotic, magical, and varied. Under this is legends that resembles folktales in their content. It is an explanation of the origins of things. Examples are alamat ng pinya, alamat ng saging, alamat ng bulkang mayon, and more. On the other hand, fables are stories about animals that teaches moral lessons to us. Under this also is an epic. It revolves around supernatural events and heroic deeds. It exemplifies the customs and beliefs of a group. Example of this is the Biyag ni Lamang by the Ilocanos and Ulalim by the Cordillerans. Lastly is indigenous rituals. It involves the distinct beliefs of various ethnic groups of our country. And now, let's go back in time and discover more about the legacy and literature when Spaniards came in 1521. The first alphabet, called Alibata, was replaced by the Roman alphabet. Also, the teaching of the Christian doctrines, which is the first book printed in the Philippines, became the basis of the religious practices. The Spanish language became the literary language during this period, but ancient literature were collected and translated into Tagalog. Many grammar books also were printed in Filipino like Ilocano, Tagalog, and Visayan. Anyway, talking barely about their literature during this period, they are classified into two, the religious and the secular, prose and poetry. So here are many of their literary genres. First, we have Passion, which commemorates Christ's agony and resurrection at Calvary. Second, metrical romances. Examples of this are awit and corrido. Awit is fabricated in the writer's imagination. It has set and characters and refers to chanting. Example of this is the Florante at Laura by Francisco Baltasar, while Corrido is based on legends and tales. Example of this is the Ibong Adarna. We also have the Ladino poems and the folk songs. Examples of these are Laran-Laran Sinta, Pamulinawen, and Dandansuri. Here are also some of the recreational and religious plays during this period. First is the Panunuluyan, which dramatizes Joseph and Mary's search for lodging in Bethlehem. Second is the Sanakulu, which portrays the passion and death of Christ. Third is the Salubong or Panubong, which is an Easter play that talks about the meeting of the risen Christ and his mother. And fourth, Sainete, which is usually an exaggerated short musical comedy. Other literary forms that are present during this period are Carillo, Tibag, Moro-Moro, Moriones, Karagatan, Duplo, Balagtasan, at Dungaw. You see, literature really allows us to step back in time. With our country's literary heritage, Filipinos are evidently fond of literature ever since. And that's all for this vlog, and I hope you've learned a lot. Thank you for watching, and God bless.